Here you go, Mark 4:35. On that day, when evening had come, Jesus said to them, let's go across to the other side. Let's go across to the other side. And leaving the crowd, they took him with them in the boat just as he was, and the other boats were with him. And a great windstorm arose, and the waves were breaking into the boat so that the boat was already filling. He was in the stern, asleep on the cushion, and they woke him and said to him, Teacher, this is appalling that they said this to Jesus. Do you not care that we are perishing? And he awoke and rebuked the wind and said to the sea, Peace, be still. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. And he said to them, Why are you so afraid? Have you still no faith? And they were filled with great fear and said to one another, Who then is this? They didn't understand who Jesus was. I'll explain that in a second. Who then is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him? All right, so let me ask you a question you can answer out loud. Did Jesus know, before they got in the boat and went out on the Sea of Galilee, did Jesus know that the storm was coming? Yes, Jesus is God in the flesh. He knows everything. So he knew that the storm was coming. And yet, what did he say at the outset? I've said this to you before. Let's get into the boat, go out into the middle of the lake, we'll encounter a storm, and we'll drown together. It'll be great, boys. Let me see how bad I can scare you. No, he said, get in the boat, let's go where? Yes, thank you, Christian. We've done this together before. Let's go to the other side. He knew the storm was coming. In fact, I'm convinced Jesus was asleep, wink, wink. Jesus was asleep on the cushion in the back of the boat with one eye open, starting the storm to test the boys. He was with them, Christian. This is the thing, though. They didn't know the extent of Christ's power at this point. I mean, they'd experienced some of it, and to be honest, he calmed a storm, and they went, whoa, guy's got a magic wand. This is amazing, right? But what didn't they know? They hadn't seen the cross yet. They hadn't seen the grave yet. They hadn't seen Jesus conquer sin, death, and the power of the devil, and by the way, conquer his own death. Let me do it this way. So remember, John 10, Jesus says, this is the Greek word I've said to you before, exousia. It's a beautiful word. I have the authority or the power to lay my life down. What that means is that Jesus didn't get murdered, as we often say it. That didn't happen. Jesus gave up his life. I have the exousia, the power to lay down my life. But then what does he say? I also have the exousia to take it up again, the authority, the power to raise himself from the dead, Christian. They didn't know that, but hang on a second. Here you go, disciples of Jesus in 2020. You do. You know what Jesus can do. You know, by the way, that he laid his life down, not for his own sake, but for yours. That's how much Christ cares about every single one of you. He knew the storm was coming. He knew that he would die for your particular sin. He laid his life down for you, and more importantly, he got up from the dead for you. He's the author of life. He didn't get up from the dead for himself. He's the author of life. Acts 3 says so. He got up from the dead for you. That's how much Christ loves and cares and adores and can't wait to see your face. And you know that it's true. Jesus can conquer death, you see. What is the cure for anxiety? Is resting, residing in Jesus. In fact, let me give you a verse that I have a feeling you've seen before. Beautiful verse from Psalm 121. Let's say it together. I lift up my eyes to the hills. From where does my help come? My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. The Lord who made heaven and earth, who can calm the storm with a word, can speak peace, be still into your hearts to be true, but also into your lives. Amen? Amen.